You should also be targeting Roschon Johnson. I feel like I've been talking about Roschon Johnson for a few weeks now, but it's a clear indicator that Johnson is the number 2 back for the Chicago Bears. Yes, the Bears have struggled a little bit, but on the season, Roschon Johnson 74 PFF rush grade is respectable. Only 9 attempts, but we're talking about Roschon Johnson. He had 29-yard rush, 2.11 yards after contact per attempt. Not terrible. He had a rushing touchdown so far this season, and he has 9 targets through 2 games, 8 receptions, an 85 pass block grade. I think it's going to be a bit before Roschon Johnson takes over this backfield because Khalil Herbert is playing well. Okay, I know Khalil Herbert's yards per carry aren't great, but he's out rush graded Roschon Johnson. He's out pass blocked, or at least been close enough in the pass blocking. His yards after contact per attempt has been great, and missed tackles forced has been great. And especially in week 2 against Tampa Bay, 7 for 35 on the ground is not going to be the volume that we want for Khalil Herbert. But I think that the Bears are going to have to relook at their offense and say, what has been working? Well, Khalil Herbert has been an effective player for us. And in week 2, 4.14 yards after contact per attempt, 5 missed tackles on 7 attempts. That's an awesome ratio. And we knew Khalil Herbert was an efficiency running back with some interesting metrics, some interesting burst and agility scores in his profile. But Roschon Johnson is a player that if the Chicago Bears are involving running backs in the passing game, it's clearly not Khalil Herbert as much as Roschon Johnson, 9 targets versus 6 targets so far this season. So I think it's going to be a little bit, but this is the patience play. You want Roschon Johnson on your team before anyone else gets him on their team. Roschon has already bumped D'Onta Foreman to being inactive, and it didn't lead to Khalil Herbert having a ton more carries. So Roschon, I think, is the pickup here. Khalil Herbert is probably rostered in most of your leagues, but this is why we want Roschon. And if Khalil Herbert goes down, it's clear that Roschon is capable of handling a workload, both of what we've seen here so far in the passing game and in the rushing game, but also what we saw at Texas playing behind and alongside Bijan Robinson. So Roschon Johnson is a player that, yeah, he's probably rostered in a third of your leagues, but once again, a player that we shouldn't be ignoring even after maybe a disappointing week 2 where we thought, oh, if D'Onta Foreman is going to be the guy or if he's going to be out, then Roschon's the guy. Still, 32 rushing yards on 4 attempts. You can't ignore that type of efficiency. A 29-yard run looks really, really nice against Tampa. So continue to attack the waiver wire for Roschon Johnson. If you like the content, you find this helpful, make sure you guys are hitting that red subscribe button. Really helps the channel.